Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the scientific method. Make sure you look at your instructions in Edmodo to figure out what page you're supposed to be writing this on. Today I'm going to be using page 21, but make sure again look at the instructions on Edmodo to see what page you should be putting it on. So today we're going to do something scientific method a little bit different. We're going to put it in a flow chart type of form. We're not going to just list out steps. And I'm going to compare it to maybe a real-world example as far as how we use a scientific method all the time. So the first thing I'm going to do to make it easier, I'm actually going to turn my page sideways. And the first step that triggers the scientific method is making an observation. So I'm going to write make observations, just as you should. And I'm going to box that in. Now, in a real world, I would say, as an example, let's make it a little bit funny. I'm going to pretend I'm noticing that my girlfriend, Chrissy, is talking to my friend, Rodney, a lot. They've been texting, they're spending time with each other. So I've just been noticing that. Those are some observations I made. The next thing I'm going to do is go to the next step. Based off of those observations, I'm going to ask a question. Or a lot of times you'll hear people say that you have a problem that they've created that they want to try and solve. So this could be the problem step. And then my question is, since they're talking so much and spending so much more time together, I'm wondering if my girlfriend, Chrissy, is cheating on me. So, based off those observations, and then I have that question, I'm going to formulate a hypothesis. That would be our next step, which is step 3. So my hypothesis is that if my girlfriend keeps talking so much time, or spending so much time with my friend, and texting and talking with them, then she's probably cheating on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and test this hypothesis, which is step 4. And from this hypothesis, misspelled it. From this hypothesis, I'm going to develop an experiment. So my experiment could entail something where I'm monitoring more what she's doing. Maybe I'm actually going to be nosy and read some of those messages and that kind of stuff. Now that messages are kind of vague, let's say they're kind of vague, meaning I can't really make sure. There's no one professing each other's love for one another. So I can't say for sure that they're really, really cheating on me or trying to do something. So I'm going to analyze the results based off of my experiment. I take data from my experiment and I start analyzing the results, which is step 5. Then I'm going to come to step 6. With step 6, I have to ask myself something, looking at my results, and this is pretty much kind of coming to a conclusion. Pardon for my handwriting, it's messy. But my question is, for my conclusions, is does my evidence support my hypothesis? And with this, I could probably go either way, but I can't really say for sure that it's a yes. So you have a yes or no response to this question. If it was a yes, then I would have some type of result or response that I would do. If it's a no, I may have some other alternatives. So if it's a yes, I would do sorry, I was kind of getting off track there, but these are the steps you should be following and writing in your notebook. The last one is I would just communicate my results. Now, if it was cheating involved, obviously it wouldn't be a nice conversation. If you weren't for sure, maybe you could ask some questions. So some of that would be I would go back to testing another hypothesis, making another hypothesis, and then testing it all over again if it was a no. So that is basically the scientific method. But what I found out was that the reason why Chrissy and my friend were talking so much was because they're planning a surprise birthday party for me. I didn't have that as a hypothesis, so I was completely wrong. But I shared it with them, and it ended up being a positive result. So that is basically the scientific method in a nutshell. In this case, there are about 6 different steps. Sorry, it should be about 7 different steps. Let's just put it that way. And that is it. So make sure you get that into your notebook, and we're going to develop more experiments based off of this type of process.